That's right, everybody. We look forward to it each and every week. There he is, Radio Gold. We love it. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. You know him, you love him. He is Mark Schlereth. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
By the way, how do you go? How is it that you go, hey, all due respect, and, I really respect you, but you're this, that, and the other, and bleep, bleep, bleep? I mean,
No,
how does that? I know
that's
you're not.
part of
You're
you.
not
You
cursing.
learn that in Talladega Nights. Once you say, with all due respect, you can say anything you want after that.
Yeah, it's part of the
Everybody knows
Geneva
that's in the
Convention.
Geneva Convention, Dave. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have not read that in a while. I did not realize that.
Yeah, Mark's going to talk about how much he loves crepes here in a minute, but yeah, that comes from a headline I was reading to Dave. With it, we get a little collection of headlines and media, and one of them says, Mark Schlereth to Skip Bayless. Your football opinions have proven to be ridiculous. When it comes to your quarterbacking opinions and your football opinions, I'm out. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that Skip Bayless is like, do you know how ridiculous it is? I called the Cleveland Tennessee game, right? And so, Shador Sanders, I mean, he was unbelievable, man. He made some big time throws, some big time scrambles. He kept the game interesting. And I mean, he performed. He was great. But the thought process behind the Shador stands, and they're trying to purposely sabotage his career. Like there's 32 of these jobs out there. You've got a two-time coach of the year who's on the hot seat, and you think he's saying to himself, I don't really like the kid. So what I'm going to do is lose on purpose. I'm going to give him the crappy plays, right? And then I'll prove. What are we even saying? And these are guys, like, people that I respect. Like, how can you guys be this stupid? And for Skip Bayless, and listen, man, Skip and I are friends, but I would tell him, like, right to his face, dude, you thought Johnny Manziel was going to be, like, world changing. You thought the whole league was going to adopt the Tim Tebow principle. When I watched Tim Tebow, the one question I had in my mind was, are you sure you're left-handed? Like, that guy could not throw a football. So, I mean, what are we talking about? You're giving me opinions on quarterbacks in the National Football League? Like, you should go with the exact opposite of whatever Skip Bayless says when it comes to quarterback play in the National Football League.
Dang, and that's your friend. I don't want to be Mark's enemy.
Man,
that could get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, we're not that close.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's good.
Where did that come from, by the way? Where were you guys having this conversation?
Well, I wasn't. I just saw some ridiculous stupidity that he put out on social media. So I just went right back
Oh, you
at him.
I got you. I thought you guys
Yeah,
were
he
having
responded, tagged him in it, said, "Come get a taste." He didn't respond.
Of course you did.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah.
How was that game? How was Jeffrey Simmons? And he's pretty phenomenal, right? I don't know.
Oh, dude, Jeffrey Simmons is a full grown. I requested to talk to him, and dude, that's a full grown man now. Super, super nice. He just got nominated 3 years in a row for the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Oh.
And man, just plays exceptionally hard. He's just a great player, and just a wonderful dude to talk to. Talk to Myles Garrett, who is incredible as well, and looking to set the all-time sack record in the National Football League. Ended up getting his 20th sack. Only he and Reggie White have ever had 20 plus sacks through 13 games. Reggie had 21 in a strike shortened season in 1987, 21 in 12 games, which is insanity. But Myles Garrett, he was great. I mean, I had a great weekend in Cleveland. It was cold in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I found out something about Cleveland, that of all the Great Lakes homes, in case you need the acronym, which is Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. That's the 5 Great Lakes. Erie is the most shallow of the 5 Great Lakes.
And
That's it.
I just thought it was
I
interesting.
was waiting for the payoff here.
I got to Cleveland. I thought it was the ocean. I was like, who knew the ocean was here in Cleveland? So I was going to go dip my toes in it. And they said, that's a lake, you moron. And I was like,
That's weird because I thought for sure it would be Huron.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
I can't believe that.
That's got the reputation of being shallow. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
The reason why I asked you about Jeffrey Simmons is I don't know if you saw the game because we just talked to Gray Zabel. Have you talked to this kid, Mark? Gray Zabel yet?
No, I have
amazing.
not, but I've just been a huge fan of watching him on tape.
Yeah, and I thought, I don't know if you saw the Seahawks game, but it seemed like their directive for that game was like, we're going to hit this guy every single time. And Gray said, we're going to, make sure he feels us or whatever, however he put it. But yeah, I mean, I thought they did a really good job with that. That guy everybody was warning us like, oh my God, whoever's going up against him, God bless him and this and that. And they kind of took it to him a little bit. So
yeah.
I
think game planning wise, I mean, you got to. It's funny, I played against Reggie White, I played against Lawrence Taylor, I played against Sapp and John Randall and all those guys. And one of the things we always did, regardless of where I was playing, whether I was in Washington or whether I was here in Denver, one of the things we always did was like those dudes who have unbelievable movement skills and are unreal when it comes to physicality and ability to just wreck games. We always ran directly at them, make them stop their feet and make them take things on. And like I said in this game, in regards to Myles Garrett, I would load him. That dude would be on the ground more than grass if we were playing against him. I mean, I would run tight ends at him. I would run counters at him. I would run, pulling guards at him. I would make him stop his feet and have to take those blocks on. And Tennessee, to their credit, that's exactly what they did. And they had great success against Myles Garrett, had great success in the running game. But yeah, you always have to, when you play against a guy like Simmons or Myles Garrett, you have to have a great plan. And in my estimation, in my career, we always just went after those dudes and say, hey, if there's one dude that's not going to wreck our game, it's that guy.
Hey, what about what the job that the Seahawks did offensively? There was lots of hand-wringing going on after that Minnesota game because they sacked Sam 4 times and I thought he did a good job in that situation. It's better than throwing 4 interceptions, right? So, but as far as the way that they responded, and they have a pretty good defense in Atlanta, and they were like the second, I think, most. They were number 3 in sacks, but also I think they blitzed the second most in the NFL. What did you think of the job the Seahawks did there? It was kind of like, it was 6-6 at halftime, and it was kind of like they were exchanging body blows and kind of figuring it out, and then kind of opened up for them in the second half.
Yeah, once the defense started taking the ball away, right? The Robinson fumble, they had the what's the kid's name, Emmanuel or whatever his name is. Yeah, that guy too. Both of those dudes, they were all over the place. It was incredible. The sad thing is that I did one of the Seahawks games and I still don't know the kid's name. But I'm not bright.
That's
so
okay.
We go into the game knowing that I'm not a smart guy.
We
just got to give me some leeway.
We just call him
what?
Nick.
I'm going to land this plane. I'm going to land the plane eventually. Just get out of the way. I'm like a big old train coming down the tracks. Anyhow, but Emmanuel, wherever he was really good. Like, he was great. That dude's all over. He's 6'3", 220. He's all over the place. I love watching him play. But when they turn the ball over, and then, it's always a good thing when you can find Smith and Jigba, because that dude is special. And the one drive, I had 2 over routes, right? One going left to right for a big gain down the sideline, and then the other one for the touchdown, and then it was on. And obviously, anytime Shaheed, you open up the second half with a 100-yard kickoff return, and man, what a dynamic! I like that. That dude's a dynamic little runner. So. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought there was some poignant runs by Charbonnet. I just thought everything, and I thought a couple of really big time scrambles in critical situations by Sam Darnold to keep drives alive, to get them out of bad positions. I thought that was really good. The sacks, sometimes the sack is the best thing you can do is take one. You never really want sacks, but every now and again, taking one is not the worst thing that happened to your football team. So I thought all those things, man. I thought that second half was brilliant. In from a complimentary standpoint, a complimentary football standpoint of turning the ball over, getting the ball back for your offense, and then a couple of quick strikes after that.
Who's the best team in the league right now? Not record wise, but just you think is the most complete best team out there as we sit.
Man, I think I've got Arizona and Houston this week, and watching the Rams dismantle Arizona, and like watching their run game, watching them use 3 and 4 tight ends, and watching how they just control the edge and the line of scrimmage, watching their defense get after you. I tell you the other thing, probably 4 or 5 times a game during the course of a game where Sam Darnold, where Matt Stafford throws a ball into a team meeting and Puka Nakua just finds a way to pluck it out of that team. It is unreal. He like has zero, he's at that point in his life where he gives zero whats. And he's just like, oh, that guy, is he covered completely? Yeah, I'm going to throw it to him anyway, see what happens. And he just fits it in there. He made some throws in some windows. Forget about tight windows. They were closed. The windows were closed. There is no space. They're like, those things are frozen shut. And somehow he got it through those damn windows. They're pretty remarkable, man. I think they're really good. And I think Seattle in the NFC is nestled right up against them.
Yeah. Who do you think's the best running back? Because we just faced we got Jonathan Taylor this week, and then who's the best guy that you've seen? You had Bijan Robinson, who really phenomenal player, and I think he was like a top 10 pick. But who do you like that you've seen?
Well, I mean, I love the kid Gibbs in Detroit because he's just
Jahmyr Gibbs,
super
yeah.
dynamic.
Mhm.
The guy you just talked about in Indianapolis, Taylor is an absolute Jonathan Taylor's an absolute freak show. There are some guys that just are really, obviously really good. But yeah, those are probably two of the guys that every time I watch them on tape, I think they're phenomenal, and pretty much do everything well. So those guys are great players. So you got Seattle certainly has their work cut out for them against Taylor.
Yep.
We were talking about the Eagles last night and watching Jalen Hurts, who was being criticized for being risk averse. He only had 2 interceptions going into that game. He throws 4 last night. Had that unique distinction of turning the ball over twice on the same play.
Mhm.
The Eagles are interesting because they've got talent, but they're still in first place, even though they've lost 3 in a row. It speaks to that division, which is terrible. But is that team just crumbling? What do you see from that team?
Yeah, I mean, I see a team that we constantly said last year, man, they're the most gifted team. They're the best team, the best roster, top to bottom. And it's really interesting. They lost a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball. Milton Williams, who I was a big, here in Denver, we have our free agent wish list. That was the number one guy on my board. Get him. And he went to New England, and they're shutting down the run. They're doing a lot of things that are really special. Lost Sweat, he went to Arizona. So they lost some of their dominance on the defensive line, and then they've had injuries on the offensive line. And remember last year, man, they were running the ball. Saquon Barkley was having, a 2,000-yard season. Now they've got injuries across the board. Lane Johnson's out. Landon Dickerson's been hurt, and he's been in and out of the lineup. Cam Jurgens, their center, has had some injuries, and he's missed some time. And so the way they were constructed, took the pressure off the quarterback. And then you lose your coordinators and all those things. You lose your quarterback coach, you lose your coordinator. They go to New Orleans, to take over that program, and Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier, University of Idaho, stellar player, former Idaho guy. Which you put enough Idaho guys on your roster, you're going to have some success.
No, you can never have two of them.
A given.
You can never have two of them together in the same room. Two Idaho guys.
No, you because then you're having a Mensa meeting.
No,
That's
not where I was
two
going.
of them in the same room.
Everybody else will be confused.
Nothing gets done because you're discussing like astrology and geology and a lot of ologies. You got all the ologies covered. If you put two Idaho guys in the same room, ologies all over the place. It's amazing.
Okay, well, that's not really the way I was going, but hey, Mark, when you look at some of these teams, who do you think are maybe frauds? Like the Patriots at 11-2, in your backyard there, the Broncos 11-2. Anybody, and it could be somebody in the NFC. I think Chicago is legit. Just looking at like their run game, and then the takeaways are ridiculous. Yeah. But anybody out there with a good record that you're like, not seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously anybody in the AFC North is like that's, and they don't have a great record, but both Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they're just going to have to put somebody in the playoffs from that division. But I don't think either of those games. I think both those teams are fraudulent. I was doing a Miami game a couple of weeks ago, and so I was going through the film and watching Buffalo. And I think Buffalo's fraudulent. I think defensively they're very average. And then offensively, Josh Allen, it's just on Josh Allen. Just go out and be Superman. And I am watching them bust protections, bust run blocking assignments, not know who to block, if a safety enters into the box, not know if you're going to push to that safety, if you turn them over to the wide receiver, if you got to gain a blocker and bring the backside, it was like they were clueless, like they'd never seen this stuff. And that to me is like elementary stuff. And like I just watched them make physical mistakes, mental mistakes offensively. And I was thoroughly unimpressed with the Buffalo Bills. Now they've got a quarterback that's, Superman, as you guys know.
Yeah.
But I think the rest of the team is very average. And I think they'll lose to New England this weekend.
It's going to be a good one to watch. Mark, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll do it again next week.
Sounds good, guys. Have a good one.
Try to make up some more ologies.